everyone, welcome back to another video within my Smart Chat series. I am so excited to be joined by the registered nutritionist Rhiannon Lambert, who's a really good friend as well, so I'm so happy that you are here on my sofa and we're going to be chatting all about nutrition.
Yes.
I've got so many questions to ask you.
I thought you might do. I'm a bit nervous. I hope I can help.
No, I know you will, because whenever I ask you any kind of questions around nutrition, you just like blow my mind and I learn so much. So I'm really excited to have you here today.
Well, here we go.
So yeah, I'm obviously eating a plant-based diet, so
Yes.
I would love to know kind of a lot about that, around vegan nutrition in terms of protein, things that we need to be conscious of. So if you could just kind of let me know your thoughts firstly on the vegan diet.
A vegan diet can be a wonderful diet. I just want to put that out there because I think there's so many people wanting to try things. However, it's not so wonderful if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I know that you've shown me how to make a frittata out of tofu. If you know how to cook, you know what nutrients to look out for, it can be absolutely incredible. So I guess it would help if I gave you those first.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the key things to look for, first of all, would be where are you getting your vitamin D? Especially if, unfortunately for your lovely listeners, if they live in the UK or a darker climate in, let's say, autumn to springtime, they should be supplementing anyway, because you only really get vitamin D from animal products.
Really? Okay.
Apart from mushrooms.
Oh, really?
I know.
Wow.
So if you put the mushrooms, it's gills, isn't it? Gills up in the sun. They absorb the vitamin D from the sun, and then then eat that vitamin D.
I never knew that. See, the first thing that I've learned already, and we've been talking for 30 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, so we've got vitamin D.
I actually thought vitamin D you mainly got from the sun, so I thought everyone generally in the UK can be very deficient in vitamin D. But is it especially if you're
also
vegan?
if you're vegan, because most people get it if they eat dairy, let's say, so cheese, milk. You can get vitamin D in fish, especially oily fish with bones and things like sardines. But you can get it fortified. So I know you're a big fan of oat milk.
Yes, yeah.
And lots of different plant-based milks will say fortified with vitamin D or extra vitamins and minerals added on the milk. So look out for that if you're buying a plant-based milk.
That's a good point.
Calcium, the second one.
Yes. This is something I'm very conscious of, because I know it can be something we're very low in. Yeah,
it's difficult, but I think overall the more variety in a vegan diet you can get, the better. The more different types of veg, even almonds, nuts and seeds. So almonds are a good source of calcium. My favourite fruit in the world, figs. I love figs.
Yes. They're great.
Yes, me too.
Have you heard the theory though about the wasps in figs? Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
Tell me about the wasps.
It's okay. Basically, wasps, I don't know why, maybe it's to lay eggs or something, they go into a fig, and as the fig ripens it actually kills the wasp. So a lot of, I'm ruining figs for you, I'm so sorry, a lot of figs have wasp carcasses in there, but they're like they're nothing, they go down to nothing because of the fruit like eats the wasp. But someone told me this, they commented on a video, I was eating a fig and they were like, just so you know, like, I had no idea. I hope it hasn't put you off.
To be honest, I love them so much. I'm going to try and blank that out.
Yeah, okay, ignore it. Instead of anything, ignore it.
I'll blank out the fig bits. Yes, figs are
strange.
That is a really weird fact, but I'm going to go and look that up now the minute I get home. But yeah, they're a source of calcium. So figs, dark leafy greens, even some dried fruit are a good source. But also iron.
Okay.
Iron is another one. If you are predisposed to being anemic anyway, so do you take supplements for your iron deficiency?
Yes, so I had to even before I was vegan, because it seems to be all of the females in my family are bordering on anemic, so we just have naturally very low iron levels, so we've always taken iron supplements anyway, and then as soon as I started eating a vegan diet I had to become even more conscious of it, especially eating dark leafy greens like you say.
And if you don't have it with vitamin C, so you aid the absorption of iron if you pair your iron supplement with vitamin C or the iron you're eating.
Oh, so like a glass of orange juice or something.
You've got it.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. So even add some berries to a dish or something. Dried apricots are a good source of iron.
I love dried apricots. They're amazing.
Especially when you soak them and then they kind of puff up.
They're delicious.
Rehydrated
I
dried
dip
fruit.
them in almond butter sometimes. Really good. Yeah.
You can get amazing vegan chocolate now as well. Like incredible vegan chocolate that's so good when you melt it down and just put like dried fruit and dipped in the freezer. Oh,
yum.
Off topic slightly.
We're just going off on like chocolate and food and
so to recap, we've got vitamin D, calcium, iron. Now one component that's very tricky that I think there's going to be a lot more awareness about very soon is iodine.
Oh, okay. Right. I have heard bits and bobs about
this. Yes, it will be very spoken of, I think, in the vegan community.
Yeah.
And it's because iodine, first of all, is the component that affects your thyroid gland.
Right.
And it also aids your cognition, so your brain neural development.
Right.
So it's extremely important for youngsters especially. So because you've made the switch to being a plant-based eater in your adult life, you've already had that period of growth from having iodine from dairy and fish, which is where it comes from initially.
Right.
You can only get it from seaweed and iodinized salt.
Right.
So a lot of brands now are starting to add iodinized salt and fortify their products. I think a few quite well-known nut milks are now going to be adding iodine to it. So
really, by using the seaweed and the salt in the milk.
Potentially,
wow, interesting.
Because we're trying to find out ways, and of course you can supplement with these things. But I should also add, never go and supplement without seeing a health professional first, because
really
you can get toxicity. So if, let's say, your diet's very high in vitamin A and a supplement you buy just happens to have an extract of a bit of vitamin A in it, you could very easily go and have too much. Which can cause harm. So it's a bit controversial.
Yeah, it's so interesting because we have so many health food stores even on the high street where you can just go in, and it's really convenient because you can get all of these amazing supplements that you might need, but then you can get a bit carried away and be like, oh, well, if I'm getting that one, I might as well get that one. It's buy one, get one free.
I think the more you can get from your diet, the better. And one thing you can get is omega-3. And there's actually very good algae supplements that provide, so basically fish eat the algae in the ocean, which is where they get the DHA component of omega-3.
Really?
So omega-3 is made up of EPA and DHA, two different components that you'll see on animal-based supplements for omega-3 called liver oil. But the DHA is the bit that's really kind of the crucial bit. And the problem with vegetarian sources like avocado, seeds, that kind of stuff, I don't want to give too many sciencey words, but it contains something called alpha-linoleic acid. So you'll see ALA.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of the
there you go,
alpha-linoleic
thing. That's fine.
I've heard of ALA,
You could all forget about that term. But ALA takes 10 times longer to convert into that EPA, DHA you need in your body.
Okay.
So you'd need to eat so much of it to get that amount. So it's much better that you probably supplement with a DHA kind of thing, an algae supplement, or you make sure you've got a lot of that frequently in your diet.
Yeah.
Lots of nuts and seeds.
So do you think if you are eating a plant-based diet, you need to be supplementing more because it is harder to get it from your diet compared to an average person that eats an average diet?
I think it's portion sizes are a good point to raise there. So you may not have to supplement, but obviously you will because you've always been anemic, and I know now that you're predisposed to iron deficiency, so chances are there may be some other areas that might need a little bit of topping up. But it's very hard to say without seeing you in clinic for an hour. But I think for lots of people out there, your vegan plate should be bigger than the plate it was before. The quantity of veg you need is so much more to satisfy you and get the nutrients.
Yeah, totally. That's something that I learned about 2 or 3 months into eating that way. I lost weight, and my purpose of going vegan was never to lose weight. Because I'd never even thought about it, but I was suddenly like, oh, I've lost weight, like what do I do? And that was literally the portion sizes, so I had to increase it, which was actually a really great thing. I was like, oh my god, I can like double my portions, this is brilliant.
It's so interesting you say that, and I think I wrote a plant-based ebook in January, and I did that because I think people just needed to understand all these key nutrient areas. Of course, B12 people generally know about.
That's really like the number one thing you think about that you can't have on a vegan diet.
B12 and protein people always ask about, but they forget about those other nutrients we just described and how to build a balanced vegan plate. So you're a big fan of pulses and lentils and things like that.
Yeah.
They're so good. Lentils, good source of iron.
Oh, yes, I did know that one actually,
Iron and protein, they're really good. So you just want your carbs, you want your veggies, you want your protein and your healthy fats.
Yeah. So you mentioned protein. I'd love to speak a bit more about that.
Okay.
What do you think is the best source of protein on a vegan diet? Is there one?
Okay. No, there are. The complete source of amino acids. So protein is made up of building blocks called amino acids, and you want to make a complete form.
Yeah.
The problem with vegetarian or vegan proteins is a lot of them don't have all those amino acids, so you have to pair them with something else that has what the other doesn't.
Yeah.
Rice and beans, good example. Rice has what beans don't have. Beans have what rice doesn't have. Put it together, boom, perfect profile. So for you though, I would say quinoa already has a complete profile.
Yeah.
Love a bit of quinoa. Tofu.
Yes.
Soy is controversial.
Yeah. We spoke a little bit more about soy in the video we've just filmed for Rhiannon's channel, where we made the tofu frittata, and that was really interesting about tofu.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe go check that one out. But it's a very good form of complete amino acids, soybeans, all that kind of stuff. They would be my top 2 for vegan diets.
Right.
But also, if you're looking at kind of veggie sausages and things, a lot of the time you have to check the protein in the packs because they're not actually good sources of protein.
Yes, I mean, I've got a real thing now with vegan processed foods. There's so much available, which is brilliant, because when I first started eating this way, there was literally nothing. And
How long ago was it?
Like 6.5 years ago or something. So it's amazing seeing the transition, and it's more mainstream.
Yeah.
But it does mean that there's way more processed food available, and it can be tempting. Because when you see it, it's like, vegan sausages, vegan burgers, oh my god, everything's vegan now, it's great. Yeah. But then you actually look at it and you think, it's no better than
this is the thing. And corn products, some of them are vegan, some of them are not. So you actually have to really look.
I don't go for corn.
You just don't do it.
I'm not a fan of corn. No.
Interesting. It's definitely not for everyone. No. That's why I think the tofu options, maybe tempeh is another good one.
Yes, tempeh's brilliant.
I love it.
It's so good. It's like more earthy, isn't it? It's just harder to find. I'm waiting for the time it's like in a normal supermarket.
I know. I think for now, the best thing to do, especially the more economical thing to do, is have tons of cans of chickpeas and pulses in your cupboard.
Exactly.
And just chuck it all in, big bean chilies and things.
Well, that's what I do at the moment. So instead of going for the corn to make, say, a chili, con carne, without the carne, I would make it like from nuts, and so walnuts are great blended with lentils and things like that. Like you can make, and mushrooms. Yeah. Blended to, like, you can make that consistency.
Mushrooms contain quite a bit of protein. It's an interesting vegetable, and that's actually where corn is derived from. So mycoprotein is from mushrooms.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So mushrooms are a good veg to add. In fact, most vegetables contain protein. It's just the amino acids, like we mentioned before, they're not complete, and they're very small quantities in vegetables.
Right, yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff with protein you want to go for.
Interesting, okay. Learning so much. This is so amazing.
Good.
And then another thing is obviously fats. You have to be conscious of like getting those healthy fats, so things like chia seeds. What do you think of those?
Yes, so chia seeds, another example. A lot of people would hail them as a good protein source. I actually refer to them more as a kind of healthy fat source.
Yeah, that's what I would always think of them as.
So they have that ALA we discussed earlier. So the more the better.
Yeah.
Chuck it into your diet. And also they're so versatile because they absorb 10 times their weight in water. Yeah. And they do contain protein. It's just you have to have so many chia seeds to get a portion of protein.
Right, okay. Like, there's only so many you can eat.
Like. There are. And actually they're a nightmare when you're washing them. You know when you're washing up?
Yes, because they gel up, don't they? So they get stuck on everything. Yeah,
they drive me crazy, or you get them in your teeth. But they're so versatile.
I love a chia seed pudding.
Me too. So maybe porridge is a really good example for vegans for breakfast that actually contains a lot of protein, because oats contain some protein as well. Yeah. Then you could add a mixed chia seeds in with the oats.
Yes, it's
or
half
protein
chia
powder as well.
I do that actually with my chia seed pudding. So I'll make a protein shake and then use that liquid to make a chia seed pudding. It's delicious.
I think Naomi's nailing the diet.
I'm just learning so much.
6 years down, you're doing really well.
Oh, good. And I wanted to ask also about, I think there's a very fine line between healthy eating and then taking it a bit too far.
Yes.
This is something that I'm sure you have come across in clinics and everything. How do you find that balance between eating really well but not crossing that line?
It's a really important topic to raise. So the areas that I've kind of studied and delved into, so I have my undergrad degree, my 3-year degree, and then my master's degree, but I'm also a master practitioner in eating disorders and psychological interventions to eating. Wow. So actually, if you're looking at the thought processes behind why we eat what we eat, it's fascinating. And unfortunately, we have seen a huge rise in a term called clean eating at one point, and vegan diet's sometimes used in the wrong way. So I see it a lot to mask an underlying form of disordered eating. Right. A lot of recovery from eating disorder patients, particularly the anorexic subtype. So with eating disorders, you can't really categorize one person as one thing. Everyone's unique. There are different spectrums. But a lot of people to recover would say, I'm going to go vegan because it naturally restricts their intake. And of course, that's not what it's about. There's so much more to it. There's ethical, sustainable reasons, enjoyment, if that's just your thing, that's how you choose to live. It's a lifestyle, it's not a diet. So I think just be very, very careful and striking a balance. You've got to think of these 3 things. First of all, is it getting in the way of your social life, the food choices you're making? Second, are you constantly preoccupied with your shape or your weight or your size? And then the final thing is all you can think about 24/7 food. Because those 3 things are the kind of criteria that I would really look for in my clients to see, do they have a healthy balance?
Interesting. And so if someone is thinking, okay, yeah, I actually do have all those 3 things, and maybe that is the reason I ate a vegan diet, what would your advice be to someone?
I think definitely seek out help, because the vegan diet may be right for you, but maybe not right now. It could still be an option to go to, or it might be right. It's just that you need to work on the psychological side of things to allow you flexibility to try new foods. So seek your GP is your first point of call. They'll refer you to different health services on the NHS. Of course, there's lots of private areas, charities like Beat Online or at Retrition.com, my website. We've got health professionals that specialise in these areas. So definitely ask for help.
Ask for help. Don't shut it up.
No,
definitely.
No.
It's an interesting one because with the plant-based way of eating, you do look online, and when I'm trying to find recipes, whatever, and I love researching into this way of eating, this lifestyle, you do come across very extreme versions of it, and it is a diet. So it's like, right, cut out all fats and eat all carbs, or it's like cut out all carbs, and that really confuses things and makes it so complicated. I always try to eat a very balanced diet. So
and all food groups. Never cut out food groups.
Definitely,
especially fats and things. I mean, well, all of them. So fats contribute to your hormones.
Yeah.
So they're the building blocks of hormones alongside proteins, especially for a female. Another key sign is amenorrhea, so absence of a period for, let's say, longer than 6 to 9 months. Which does happen when
that's a warning sign that something's wrong, isn't it?
So on my podcast series, Food for Thought, I had a gynecologist come in, and she actually openly spoke about the rise she's seen in people coming to her without periods, worrying about the fertility, who'd actually gone vegan. And it's because they just weren't doing it in a kind of way that suited their body. Maybe they weren't eating the volume of food, they cut out food groups. You can't not have carbs if you're a vegan.
I mean, it is more that I've seen a lot of people cutting out all fats altogether, and that's whether they're on a vegan diet or not. And that just, for me, screams alarm bells.
Do you know, you can't absorb some vitamins. So vitamins A, D, E and K are fat soluble. You can't physically absorb them from food without the addition of fats. If you're not cooking with oil and you're cooking carrots, you're never going to get the vitamin A.
I've actually, this is where I do feel like social media in terms of health and well-being and food can become a little bit dangerous, and you just have to be aware of it. And I'm not saying don't consume that content, just be conscious of it, because I have seen people online that have been cooking their foods with just water instead of oil. So I've seen people that have even been eating a little bit of avocado and said that that's a treat, and it just seems very, very extreme. So I think it is really good to be talking about this, because it's good to put that message out there to just people to be very aware that if you are changing up the way you eat, to just make sure it's very balanced.
I wonder where it comes from, because the drive behind it is interesting for me. I think, why give up the fats? And I mean, is it a weight loss angle? Because it's not healthy. And
no, it seems really old fashioned, because I remember like years ago when fat was like the demon, and it's like cut out all fats because that makes you fat. It's like,
I used to buy into that so much. Really? I used to buy all the low fat products when I was a teenager.
You're better off actually buying the full fat version. Well, just the real versions rather than things that have been extracted. And
100%.
No, I think you're right. It's all about making sure that you're eating the right amount of fats and protein and carbs to make that perfect plate.
Precisely, and that's why it's good you're talking out about it. I mean, I'm so pleased that we actually have people in a position of influence that want to speak about the fact that nutrition, for me as a nutritionist, it's not just about what you eat, it's about why and how and the enjoyment of food. It's a science, essentially. It shouldn't be oversimplified or overcomplicated. It's very unique to each individual, and I love it, but I think it can go very far in the wrong direction.
Yeah, definitely. And from your experience, have you found that social media can play a part in all of that?
Huge. So when I started my clinic, I didn't have Instagram, and it was just kind of coming around. And I now get parents referring me their children from their boarding schools, because the boarding school has found a social media account that is quite dangerous, so we get referrals like that now coming. Obviously my clinic is a private practice, so I used to do NHS and now we're in private practice, but a huge rise. I think body image, self-esteem, and trying to copy what others do, so people saying, I eat this, it's going to work for you, that's very dangerous.
You've got to think what works for your body, because everyone is different. So what works for one person works for your friend might not necessarily work for you.
Yeah,
so
just because Naomi made and I made a frittata doesn't mean that that's going to be great for everyone. Yeah,
you don't have to make a frittata.
Although I can't wait to eat it. But yeah, everyone is so unique, and it's what we call anecdotal advice. So the whole "what works for me will work for you" thing is just not what I call evidence-based. And until we can make a judgment on something, you need tons and tons of research on something.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, you're really inspirational. Everything you've said, you're really impressive with your whole knowledge. It's so great to chat with you.
I'm still learning.
You're
Believe
still learning.
me.
I don't know how you can learn anymore.
I'm doing pre and postnatal now, and I love it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So maybe one day in the future we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll be sitting here talking about that with big bumps.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much. I hope you guys have all found that really, really interesting. Do feel free to comment down below. We'll get back to you. And thank you. Make sure to check out the frittata as well on Rhiannon's YouTube channel. Bye.